What's going on, Internet? I'm Christopher Peterson, one of your co-hosts, and you're listening to the NerdEXP podcast. Today I'm here with Guillermo.
I'm here.
Edgar.
I'm here.
Drew.
Hi.
Aliera.
How's it hanging?
And Sakari.
Hello.
If you're a returning listener, thanks for coming back. But if it's your first time, you're in for a treat. We're going to go through this week's top entertainment headlines, discuss our most anticipated movies of 2014, and let you know what we've been watching and playing. The point of all this? To start a conversation and help you level up your nerd IQ. If you want to be part of the conversation, email us at nerdexp@gmail.com. Kicking us off with headlines is Drew.
Just for the record, you just read that whole thing.
You caught me off guard last week. Like, why are we here? I felt like I had to be prepared.
You got a special sheet that we didn't get.
That's right, he got the speech. He was reading a speech.
Like, we didn't get that.
Well, you wrote a speech too? I'm unprepared for this thing.
That's not a speech, that's a list.
Drew, what
Alright,
happened?
anyway, so...
What happened?
The biggest news this week, by far...
This year?
The past 6 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Has been the cast announcement for Star Wars Episode 7, which has me giddy again. Like, I know I don't show it, but the
He doesn't show
yeah,
it.
Yeah,
whatever. I grew up like a Star Wars fanatic from the age of 10 until now, and I'm finally, after seeing the photo of the cast around the script read or whatever, like I finally started getting giddy. I was excited ever since they announced the movie, but
It seems
like,
real,
I
huh?
saw that picture. Yeah,
It seems real. I mean, it's concrete. They got their casting. It's ready to shoot. It's inevitable now.
It is.
I think that's the
insane.
best feeling.
No stopping it.
That was insane. Yeah, it truly was. It was, middle of the day, you guys saw my reaction. I'm like, anyone seeing this? You know, StarWars.com crash. That was intense. Intense news.
Come in from lunch and see the email from Guillermo, the subject, Star Wars cast announced, and I was like, holy cow. And there was like 15 emails from you guys. I was like, Jesus.
So Mark Hamill's returning, Harrison Ford's returning, Carrie Fisher's returning. We have a bunch of people who I personally have never recognized before. Yeah. And when I look at the picture, the first thing that immediately jumps out at me was, where's Billy D? Did he piss somebody off? Like, did Lando die in between episode 6 and 7? And like, why did he completely get snubbed?
I didn't see Admiral Akbar either, but Andy Serkis was there though. Maybe Admiral Akbar.
Does anybody think Andy's gonna play himself? Like he's doing mocap?
No,
like
he's motion capture.
Yeah, definitely.
I think there's a good chance. Yeah.
He's gonna motion capture Jabba the Hutt.
I've seen him live action outside
Jabba the Hutt's dead.
Lord of the Rings.
When?
What do you mean, what?
Leia choked him.
Oh, that's right. Maybe Jabba the Hutt Jr.
So I guess you could tell with watching the movies
Zorba the
first.
Hutt. It's a real thing.
That is?
Not anymore. Expanding Universe is dead.
That's true.
Everything you thought you knew doesn't count anymore.
They did officially announce, although we all already knew it, that the only canon is going to be the films.
And the cartoons. And the Cartoon Network stuff.
The Clone Wars.
Right.
Yeah, prequel stuff.
Yeah.
So anything prequel, it's cultured. And as far as
I hope they
Billy
don't go
D,
too much
I
into
think he's
that,
going to come in. He's going to be in it. He's just going to be on the next phase.
Yeah, they could save him for a sequel. He could show up to help after Han dies or whatever.
Which brings me to the next one, right? I mean, that's what kind of, the fact that he is going to be such a big character. And
yeah, that's what they're saying.
I think Han Solo dies of this one.
Which is what Harrison Ford wanted.
Yeah, I didn't know that he
Return
wanted
of the
that
Jedi
in
was
return.
being filmed.
I didn't know that he wanted
Who
to
wants
die.
their character to die?
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford. He's like, I want nothing to do with this.
That's so much
He doesn't
fun.
want Indy to die, though, as far as I know.
But he likes
He
money.
killed it. Well, he killed it. So.
He killed it himself.
He committed suicide, as far as I see it.
Yeah.
I really like how the news came about. You started hearing, you saw the picture of Mark Hamill hanging out with the guy who voiced Darth Maul. Random picture, and then he definitely looks cool. I guess in shape more than he was before. And then you got a picture of Carrie Fisher going through airport security in London, and you're like, holy crap, it's happening.
Yeah.
And then the night, Harrison Ford gets spotted at a restaurant. So you're like, no way. It's very close. Everyone's in London.
Yeah.
Typical J.J. Abrams. I think we're going to get so many of these J.J. Abrams, and I think it really is manufactured advertising, and we're going to get a lot of viral videos, and so I'm excited. I mean, I thought J.J. Abrams had something to do with this, how the news came about and how the excitement kind of built up. I think that the whole pictures and everything completes it of what got released. I mean, what are the chances that somebody gets caught, just randomly at a random date? So.
Oh yeah, I mean this was definitely purposeful and a marketing strategy. And I mean, how many other franchises can just release a cast photo where everybody's sitting around in a circle, not in character, black and white, and everybody get ridiculously excited about it and talk about it?
Why the black and white?
No, I mean, no series can do that.
What do you think they were trying to do with the black and white?
It just looks
Save
good.
money.
Save money.
It was some professional photographer. His name was credited there. I didn't memorize it, but
Well, being J.J. Abrams, if you take the
that's
photographer's
exactly
name
what I
and then
thought.
you change the letters, it'll turn out to be
yeah.
the Sith are back.
And I don't know if it's normal. I guess it is. It would be normal for certain cast members to be sitting next to who they would be involved with the film, and that's what a lot of discussion about the picture's been, and
but
how
look
the
where
new
Peter Mayhew
the new
is.
girl is between.
Yeah, but Peter
Han
Mayhew is
Leia,
just in a corner, like I'm Chewbacca.
What does he read exactly? Anyway? He's totally there for the photo.
Can anybody here do a Wookiee impression?
Nope.
Negative.
No.
Negative. Not on podcast radio.
Does anyone care about any of these kids? Was there anything that any of these newcomers has been in that you watched and saw and really enjoyed?
I'm really excited. I wouldn't say about the kids. The unknowns, Daisy Ridley and John Boyega, if I'm saying that right. Daisy Ridley's practically been in nothing, and John Boyega, the only film I've heard of is Attack the Block, indie action sci-fi kind of a thing, which I want to see, and especially now since he's going to be in Star Wars. But
I like Adam Driver.
Yeah.
I was really happy that he got announced for it. Girls is an HBO show that I watched, and he's really like a polarizing character in that, and he plays his role to the T, and he's been in different big movies. And believe it or not, he actually he was in a Gap campaign. I don't know if you ever noticed that. But he was in, he's a model, which is nice.
Is he the funky looking dude with the big ears?
Yeah, dude.
Why is he a model?
Right. I mean, I'm like,
he's a model.
I can be a model by those standards.
That's perfect casting. This guy needs no makeup. He's just weird.
His IMDb photo reminded me of the giant from Big Fish.
Yeah,
the weird guy.
I can see that. No, that's
It's nice. He's an up and comer.
Yeah, everyone I know is great actor or actress
I mean, how lucky is J.J. Abrams? First, he gets to redo Star Trek and reboot that, and now he's just there. I mean, how lucky is that guy right now? Incredible for that guy accomplishment.
I mean, J.J. Abrams basically already made a Star Wars movie with the first Star Trek.
That's right.
And since then, and even before then, his work's kind of hit and miss. I do think he does better movies because he sticks with the project, but especially his TV shows, he gets a lot of credit for creating concepts. But then he just abandons them and they go downhill pretty quickly.
Yeah. Today, the Fox Almost Human show got canceled?
Yep.
And that was a J.J. Abrams creation.
It was, yeah.
They had an ABC one with 2 black spies.
Undercovers,
yeah.
That was
And then
half
Alias
season.
was a train wreck. I don't know if you ever
After
finished
season
watching
2.
it.
No.
First 2 seasons,
paperweight
amazing.
Right just one of them's a paperweight.
Everything after that,
Lost.
worthless.
Felicity was terrible.
She cut off her hair.
What?
I'm just kidding.
No, I mean J.J. Abrams. I don't think whatever he's missed. I don't think it's missed because of him.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
as far
true.
as what he does, I think he's gonna stick. I mean, he's gonna stick to what he does best, which is I think he's a great storyteller for stuff that no one's ever done before. So
I think he showed people the door, but they have to walk through it. Right?
nice reference.
I don't get it.
It's from the Matrix. Morpheus tells Neo that he can only show him the door.
J.J. Abrams did The Matrix?
Well,
No, he did not.
no, I know he didn't do the Matrix, but that's
Just for the record, he did not.
I think I'm hoping, because I feel like with Super 8, he really successfully captured the feel of like 80s sci-fi Spielberg-esque films like E.T. and Goonies and stuff like that. So I really hope he captures the feel of the original trilogy in the new trilogy. Or if he's even directing beyond Episode 7, we don't even know that for sure.
How long do you think this movie's going to be? 3 hours?
No, they're going to stick with, I think, with the
between 2 and 2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot to do.
All right.
Good.
So
anything
that's
more to that? Star Wars? No?
No,
Star Wars. Everybody's going to see it.
Start counting down.
Yeah, definitely got excited.
See what happens May the 4th.
Yeah, this Sunday might be some big news. Who knows?
That's right, but I mean, what more news? More casting?
Well, what the characters are.
We don't know what the plot is. Yeah, who they're playing.
Yeah, they're not going to release that May the 4th.
A second girl. Yeah. And the internet feels they're redeemed and their petitions came through.
Yeah.
I never knew that was such a big deal.
Especially if she's not white.
I never knew that was such a big deal. And I never noticed it. I saw this statistic, one out of every 30 people in the original trilogy while filming was a girl. Like there was 30 people, 30 guys for every one girl. That's to me it didn't register. But
I can name 2.
Mon Mothma?
Yeah, Leia and Mon Mothma. That's it.
I was thinking of that too. And the Twi'lek in Jabba the Hutt's.
Oh yeah, there were quite a few ladies.
You guys
there.
are forgetting all of the Ewoks. There were plenty of Ewok girls. Come on.
30% of the Ewoks were girls.
I think it was 37%.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I'll check my statistics next time.
So,
all right. What do you got, Danny?
Well, Justice League was officially announced that Zack Snyder was going to direct it right after, or a follow-up movie to Superman vs. Batman, which is a nice segue to introduce a better Green Lantern, hopefully this time. Aquaman is certainly someone that hasn't had any DC movies or any like direct animation films. Like Aquaman has been.
Movie of Aquaman. Really?
Aqualad, for the record, is pretty awesome. Aquaman, I could do without.
The Flash hasn't had anything except some DC animated universe stuff, but
he's about to have a TV show.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
With that crappy costume.
With that crappy Daredevil costume.
Yeah.
But I mean, it would be nice to see it because people, when you say Justice League, they know the Justice League better than the Avengers. Well, I mean, now that Marvel has introduced it to us and we love the movie, but when people know the Justice League, so it'll be nice to see how it translates to the big screen.
Even less excited because Zack Snyder's directing that thing. That thing is going to be dark.
I think it's a movie that's super. It doesn't matter who directs it. Like,
what do you mean?
It's going to make so
This
much
guy,
money.
yeah, right.
This is another illustration of too big to fail.
I agree, but he's going
Even
to put
Green
a black
Lantern
filter
made
on top of it, and
money.
all the colors are going to be dull. Justice League. One of the things that I associate with Justice League and Super Friends, bright colors, bright costumes. This guy's not going to make it.
I mean,
I don't like it.
I agree with both of you. It's going to make money. It's going to be a huge blockbuster success. I'm not excited Snyder's into it. But, like, from my perspective, like, I'm going to lean towards, like, not that you guys are arguing 2 different points, but Guillermo, like, I don't care how much money this movie makes. If it makes, $500 million or $2 billion, it doesn't impact how much I enjoy it.
Yeah,
so,
get it done right. Get it done right, but it's not. Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, this news were pretty big, but it was a subtlety this week. I mean, that it really was.
Yeah.
No, for such a big announcement, it just went under the rug quickly.
I mean, it could also change too.
I think
Days of Future Past was supposed to be, I can't remember the guy's name. Whoever directed First Class, and then they changed that last minute.
Matt Vaughn?
To Brian Snyder. Yeah, it was supposed to be Matt Vaughn. I was hoping Ben Affleck was going to do it, to be honest, because he was rumored early on before they announced he was Batman. So
I mean, Justice League is 2018, I think I read. So I mean, we are a long way between here and there, and there's a lot of pitfalls, and this is more of a concept.
Disappeared before then.
Man, you just took the wind out of myself because I'm going to say this movie is happening too soon. Like, they are not building this up the way that Marvel built up their properties. There's not enough story and success behind those extenuating external characters that people aren't familiar with. I don't know that this is gonna
4 years between Iron Man and Avengers.
Yeah,
it felt like a lot longer, but it was just 4
But Iron Man
years.
wasn't the only movie. There was Thor.
But I'm saying Iron Man is where it started, and
Yeah.
Well,
He did Hulk like 50 times.
Yeah.
Eventually, they're gonna
They'll get it. They'll get it one day.
Yeah.
It's just hard to make like big angry green men like, really exciting.
I think the last Hulk was better though. Well, not the last one, but the one that was actually cast for
In the Avengers?
Yeah, he was better than all the other ones.
Strange. I mean,
I don't know the name.
that's
Mark Ruffalo?
that's how you're
Yes,
gonna bring
Mark
back the
Ruffalo.
Hulk. With Doctor Strange, right? That's how you make it. So
Jeff Goldblum for Doctor Strange.
You can't campaign everyone for Jeff Goldblum, Drew.
He is amazing.
Jeff Goldblum cannot play every character.
He totally can.
Really?
No.
well, I mean, Jeff Goldblum has been known to do some TV work. Speaking of TV,
nice segue. So I'm definitely excited, kind of crossing the whole Star Wars, Star Trek, everything. Sir Patrick Stewart, will be joining Seth MacFarlane again for a new series called Blunt Talk, where he plays an alcoholic anchor that is extremely witty, apparently, from Britain, because of course he is, and apparently finding some of his ex-wives. So should be an interesting show. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how it kicks off. Less excited to hear that it's on Starz, because I'm not really up on that network, but Patrick Stewart will take me there. So
I was surprised to see this because I completely glossed over the fact that Seth MacFarlane and Sir Patrick Stewart work together on American Dad.
what?
He
he's
does the voice.
CIA deputy director Avery Bullock from American Dad.
I did not know that. I didn't know that. I was about to ask that. What was the relation? Cool, Seth MacFarlane. I think it's doing good things.
Has he done a live action show before? Did he do
live
Dads? Was he involved in that?
No, I think that was just Seth Green, right?
Okay,
Yeah, I think that was.
that
Seth
was
Green.
terrible.
Was it?
Yeah,
What was?
He got a
Dads.
couple things.
Oh, I've never
I saw
heard
the
of it.
pilot and never watched it again.
He got a couple things. Yeah, it sounds cool. I think that over the summer, what is it? 10,000 Ways to Die in the West.
A million ways.
Million ways to die in the West. That looks cool.
Yeah.
Exciting. Good casting.
Very good.
Great casting.
I'd like Ted.
Ted was great. Ted
Patrick's-
2 still coming up at some point.
Patrick Stewart is surprisingly excellent at comedy. So,
He's definitely probably the most versatile actor I've ever been excited about.
I
So
haven't seen him in anything.
he did
Then X-Men.
Ricky Gervais's extras, and
Yeah.
he was hilarious on that. And you can look it up on YouTube.
I need to
he's
finish
also done
watching.
some episodes of The Simpsons.
Yeah,
I need to finish watching.
he's great. He'll do anything.
Follow him on Twitter. He's funny, or his publicist is. So
No, like it's totally him. And he's at Sir Pat Stew if you're not following him.
Aren't we the modest people, sir?
Hey, he's a Knight of the Realm. It's okay.
all right. Beyond that, Disney announced Disney Infinity 2.0 today. This is their miniature figurine which bleeds parents dry video game where little kids, want to play a game and they can't play with all the characters until you buy these extra little doodads. It's kind of like Skylanders is another popular franchise, but with Disney characters. This is introducing the Marvel Universe and kind of upgrading the entire system. All of your 1.0 stuff will still work with it, so if you have a Jack Sparrow or Sully figurine, you're still good to go. But now they're introducing Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, basically all the Avengers that you know, and some B-list characters you might not have heard of, like MODOK or Black Panther or the likes. I don't think anybody around here personally is going to play it, but I mean, anybody with kids definitely be on the lookout. I'm sure that's where you're going to be buying people for Christmas this year.
Are we sure we want Tony Stark around Boo from Monsters? Is he appropriate for small children?
She's not a character yet, so we can't make that happen just yet.
Now, I'm not familiar with Disney Infinity, but do they have villains? Like you can play as villains too, or
I think you just fight villains. I don't know
Any
for
villain
a
figurines?
fact if they have any villains that you can control or be part of.
They do. They should jump on the Maleficent bandwagon since that's the other property they're launching.
Yeah. So the only announcement was just the superheroes joining us 2.0?
Yeah, I mean, they had Phil Coulson himself come out and do the announcements. He's not a playable character,
wow.
so The world's changing. They're going to set it in the Marvel Manhattan universe. A new emphasis on verticality, characters being able to jump or fly or purchase jetpacks or things along those lines. I have some little cousins who really enjoy the game. If you have anybody who's younger, it's special. Apparently, it's good.
Or Tyler.
Or Tyler.
Tyler loves that.
Yeah, but I mean, I think Disney just got it right. This is the thing that or at least me as a kid, that's what I used to do. Always cross genres. I used to play with my Ghostbusters and then bring him into the Jurassic Park and RoboCop action figure and set that up. And I think that's pretty cool that now not only do they get to do that, but they get to play and interact. Jack Sparrow gets to go into the Incredibles world, and now you can bring Iron Man along to it. So that's pretty cool.
Can you imagine if this happened to us when playing like Pokemon or something? You can't catch them, but you can buy them. So you got to buy them all. It's the South Park parody episode, finally coming to life.
I feel like Lego, the Lego Movie brought in the nice mesh of different universes. So it did well, and good luck to Disney. They're going to be printing money now. Again.
Cool. Before, I think something else that I wanted to bring up.
Breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. As of this morning, I guess this morning it was announced, kind of quietly announced, that Bob Hoskins has passed, and big deal for me. I mean, he was one of those guys that it's in a lot of movies that you just take it for granted. But he was the key character in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He was Eddie Valiant. As a child, I don't know how many times I watched that movie, and Eddie Valiant was always, it's Eddie Valiant, and he got to do, whatever you want to call the Super Mario Brothers movie. He was Mario. He has been the only live-action Mario, and he will be, I think, for a while, live-action Mario, other than the TV show, Mario. So, definitely big loss at Bob Hoskins. So, honorable mention to that.
Besides that, he was also in Hook. He was Hook's assistant, Wacky Smee.
What about Smee?
He was also in, I think he was in 114 movies. I looked it up earlier. I can't remember all of them. But definitely did a lot of work.
I don't know why I remember that, but I do.
He was in Enemy of the Gates.
Yeah.
The Jude Law movie?
The Jude Law movie.
Wow. See, this is the kind of things. He was in a lot of movies, and you just didn't know. He's one of those, I wouldn't say if you call them character actors, but he was definitely a guy.
Woody Harrelson, right? He's in that too? Aren't they dueling snipers in that movie?
Woody's not in that movie.
It's Ed Harris.
Ed Harris
and Jude Law, yeah.
Did you guys hear the other, I guess changing a little bit topics about Gravity and how the controversy right now going on with Gravity?
The movie?
Yeah.
What about it?
Okay, so
haven't heard
today I was reading, there is this lady who wrote a book, oddly enough, called Gravity, and she had sold her movie idea or book idea to Warner Brothers earlier on, and this was in the 90s, and Warner Brothers kept trying to make this movie, and part of the scenes that or parts of the book is somebody flying around the space station getting hit by satellites. There's another scene of only being one survivor out of the whole
spoilers.
I know teams. Yeah. 10 minutes of the movie. Out of the whole, I guess, group, only one survivor, and that person is floating in space, lost.
I remember seeing this.
And now this person is saying, well, Cuarón, Alfonso Cuarón took pretty much that idea, developed it a little bit more than what I had when I sold it to Warner Brothers. I didn't get a single paycheck on this thing, and we got. Did they win? They won director, movie.
They didn't win film.
They won a BAFTA, British film or whatever.
They won so many awards, and some of them were also on the screenplay and the original or adapted screenplay nominations and whatnot.
Yeah. So who did Gravity?
Gravity is Alfonso Cuarón and his son, supposedly.
But what production company? Was it Warner Brothers? Okay.
Yeah.
And they just basically cut this woman out, is what you're saying?
Cut this woman out because she apparently her contract to develop the movie expired in 2005, and after 2005, somebody else just took over it. But regardless of contract, the fact that she didn't get credit, it's not. It says that's an original screenplay, or it is an original screenplay.
One of the
or
highest
that's how
grossing films of the year too.
It's kind of I don't know. To me, it just kind of.
Did this just come out?
Yeah, this was news today.
Why is this just now coming out? Like, what took her so long to come forward? Something that's where I think it's most sketchy. Like, if I went into the theaters and saw Gravity,
I'm sure if I'm Warner Brothers as the studio, I'm saying, you keep your mouth shut, here's $100. And she says, well, $100 doesn't cut it, here's $1,000.
Or pursuing expensive, aggressive legal action that she can't support or fight alone.
Exactly.
Right. And she's saying, and after everything, through the contract, the most that she can get is about $10 million, which, it's still pretty big. And at this point, I think Warner Brothers should just step up and say, listen, it was loosely based on her idea and her story in the book. Let's just, give her the $10 million and give her credit. I think that's...
I think we're going to find this is going to be settled outside of court.
Oh,
yeah, we're just going to not hear about it.
If we're talking about Warner Brothers, talk to the family who made Superman about paying up and, admitting that, hey, you deserve a cut of all these profits. So I don't think that Warner Brothers is going to give this woman $10 million anytime soon.
Yeah. That's just something...
I would say the difference between that situation and now is that social media will probably rally to her defense and crucify them in several areas if they don't do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not that I'll be in front of the line waving a pitchfork or anything, but I do think that she has more help in her corner now that it's public than she did before, or the Superman family.
Yeah, I think social media now plays a big role. I think part of, kind of relating back to the earlier news about Star Wars casting announced, social media was a big part of it. Imagine yourself 30 years ago, or what was Empire was, 30 years? Beyond that now?
1980, yes. 34
1980.
years.
So Return is 1983.
So that's 31 years now. Or
so
this year.
Closer to that, so 30 plus years, and let's say when they were making the announcement for the next movie and who was going to be in it, how did you make it back then?
I remember
how did
even
you make it
newspaper.
Even
right,
Attack of the Clones was premiered on news in the morning on a weekday on TV. I remember that.
And it's pretty the
2002.
power of social media at this point. That's
I
pretty cool.
gotta chuckle out of some of the memes that people put together from that photo. I feel like they did a good job. So.
Oh yeah. The Alderaan picture in the middle it's one of the ones you sent me. The Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
There's a Jar. I didn't see the Jar.
You didn't see the Jar Jar Binks.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be done with that, and a lot of time to do it.
And you pointed it exactly. This was within hours of this announcement. There were already tons and tons of pictures.
And the timing, it couldn't have been more perfect because we've got May the 4th obviously coming up. There's a huge geek weekend anyway because it's first.
You should
free comic book.
They should have saved it, but
the problem is May 4th is a Sunday. Yeah,
makes it hard
this year.
I guess, yeah.
But there's still time they can do something more on Sunday. Who knows?
Well, I'm sure if they do something more on Sunday, we will let you guys know. I'm sure every media outlet's going to tell you the color of dye they're using, if they're brought in sand, any extras. This movie, more so than even The Dark Knight Rises, will be media blitzed constantly with spy footage and rumors and just rampant speculation.
But then you got J.J. Abrams, who's been a master at keeping secrets for all his movies. As far as
Khan.
I didn't know that. I went into.
You're the only one that didn't know that.
I guess not. I went into that movie and there was a different guy. I had heard that he was going to be like a Khan, but I didn't realize he was going to be the Khan, the Khan in the series again. So definitely surprised me. I guess misinformed.
But he tried.
He tried. That's right. He tried and he did well. So yeah, and I guess that's the updates.
Any other news?
Headlines. That's
all
it.
I
That's
got.
all I got. Yeah.
All right. This week's topic is most anticipated movies of 2014. What do you got for me, Drew?
Well, I chose Christopher Nolan's Interstellar to be released this November. I am maybe huge isn't the right word. I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan. I think he's an excellent director. We don't really know much about this movie at this point, so what really has me excited is mostly just credentials. The cast is amazing.
Who's in it?
Jotted down the cast here. Matthew McConaughey, who's huge right now.
All right.
Just won an Oscar. True Detective, blew up HBO Go. I have a man crush on him. I'll admit that. So,
Does Jeff Goldblum know?
no, I'm gay for Goldblum. It's different. It's different. Yep. So he's the star. The only one, as far as I can remember, featured in the teaser trailer, and I believe he narrates it as well. Other than that, we got Jessica Chastain.
Ooh, Oscar nominated.
That's right. Ellen Burstyn,
Oscar winner.
Who's that?
Just crazy woman from Requiem for a Dream.
Okay.
The mother. And Michael Caine. No surprise there.
Did he win an Oscar?
I don't know.
Like
BAFTA
50s?
probably. Let's go. John Lithgow, which is kind of random, I guess, but I think he made a comeback when he was on Dexter.
Yeah.
And people raved about him on Dexter. So Matt Damon,
Oh my god.
was the last announcement as far as I know.
Won an Oscar. You
Yes.
missed it.
For screenplay.
And,
That doesn't count.
Casey Affleck,
Really?
who just has a great voice. I like listening to him.
Don't look at his face though. Just
Kinda.
the voices. Over.
I mean, that's not why I'm excited. Just adding that in there.
What's
And
this movie supposed to be about?
there's a Wes Bentley that I wrote down, which I remember recognizing, but now I can't think of what I've seen him in. But
He was
he's
in
good.
American Beauty.
American Beauty.
and
That's
the
right.
Hunger
Hunger
Games.
Games. That's right.
He reminds
Wes
me of
Bentley.
you.
Really?
Yes.
Like in American Beauty?
Like in anything, he looks like you.
If
And
only I
if
looked
you could
like
pull
him.
off that beard, yeah.
Are you gonna go on
So, yeah.
media blackout for this?
Well,
Not
it's
much
too late.
has come out.
I saw the teaser. But,
Yeah, but that's it.
it.
Is that actually any real footage?
I mean, I definitely want to avoid
Reading about
plot
it.
spoilers, and
So you're just gonna watch the official.
but I'm
stuff.
confident Christopher Nolan won't let the trailers reveal too much.
So we don't know anything about what this movie's about.
And I know the original script. It was actually attached to Steven Spielberg for years, and he kept just leaving it, doing other projects. But it's written from the beginning by Jonathan Nolan, Christopher Nolan's brother. He wrote it for Spielberg. It was based off of a book written by a physicist, and I think it has something to do with black holes. So, but that's all we know about it, as far as I know.
Sorry. We're not going to pay the physicist. Well, not us, but the studio's not going to pay the physicist.
Right.
It'll come up 6 months from now.
And
It is Warner Brothers, so I'm sure.
Another not so surprising move is that he's using IMAX cameras, which I said last podcast. I'm a huge IMAX aficionado, real IMAX, and Christopher Nolan's the one that really brought that into Hollywood, to the forefront. And The Dark Knight was actually the first Hollywood feature, wide release to feature IMAX. And I never even saw it until The Dark Knight Rises. Opening sequence. I drove 2.5 hours just to watch the first 10 minutes. A friend invited me, so I was like, yeah, whatever. It blew me away. I don't know if you remember the very first scene in The Dark Knight Rises, other than them replaying Gordon talking at Harvey Dent's funeral, was the camera was just panning over a grassy field, and a car, a Jeep just appeared, came from behind the camera and drove off. And that was filmed with an IMAX camera. I literally lost my stomach in the theater. I was on a ride. That changed my life right away. I was like, this is how movies should be made. But, yeah. And so I drove again to that same theater for the midnight premiere of the film and just loved it. Everyone, a lot of people have problems with Dark Knight Rises. Whenever they tell me that, I'm just like, you didn't see it in IMAX.
Are you going to drive 2.5 hours for Interstellar?
I might have to drive more because I know the theater that I went to, they have digital and film, and with Star Trek Into Darkness, which had IMAX scenes, they played the digital version rather than the film version. So I actually drove 3.5 hours to see that one. Was a little disappointed though because I chose a dome IMAX, which I didn't know what to expect, but I wanted to try it out, and it was a little disappointing. So, but yeah, so I'll drive to Atlanta, Charlotte, I don't know, wherever I have to go. Like, I'm really excited for that. One more thing to note is it's the first movie of Christopher Nolan's, excluding his first indie film, that doesn't feature the cinematographer Wally Pfister. He didn't work on it because he took on his directorial debut with Transcendence with Johnny Depp, which was panned and bombed. So hopefully, and he chose a guy, Hoyt van Hoytema. It's an interesting name.
It's Hoyt.
He's a European guy.
Hoyt.
His most recent film was Her. He did Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, The Fighter, and Let the Right One In. So I'm really excited.
It's a good pedigree.
I think it's going to be a beautiful film, at least, if not maybe
So is this
the best
set, like,
film ever
it's not
made.
in a sci-fi world, it's in...
It's in our time, but it's science fiction.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking, like, all right, great, you're going to put an IMAX in front of a green screen. Fantastic.
Oh yeah. Going back to the IMAX, like they reported from I think the Canada shoot that he had an IMAX camera attached to an airplane, like the whole outside of an airplane. So there's probably going to be some awesome IMAX footage of a space shuttle taking off or something like that. So
Interesting.
I'm super excited to lose my stomach in that movie.
Interesting.
I like
choice.
the title.
Interstellar, yeah.
They're being vertical.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah,
sure.
very interesting.
Score by Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer is doing the score, yes. I wrote that down and forgot to mention it. But,
See,
Hands
like
up.
when you
But-
said the title, I was thinking, oh man, Interstellar, like 55, like Daft Punk, they're gonna make it live action, and then they took it a whole different direction.
no Daft Punk.
Still sounds
But,
pretty
yeah.
exciting.
I mean,
though.
Hans Zimmer, Chris pointed out the Inception noise, but Hans Zimmer, and I read in an interview just today that he and Christopher Nolan were saying how a lot of the stuff they've done with the Batman films and Inception has been used in other movies now, so they're wanting to do something different. And he recently signed on some opera singer to help with the soundtrack, so I'm looking forward to it.
I really haven't heard much about this before tonight, and like what I did here, I was like borderline on the fence. But your excitement has me excited.
Good, good. And you can travel with me. We'll go.
I'm not that excited.
No, you have no idea. You have to see a real IMAX movie. And one more thing, sorry, is that IMAX, the company, is replacing all of their IMAX film projectors, or the majority of them anyway, with a new digital laser one that they've invented. So, Interstellar is rumored to be the like last wide release in IMAX film. So, could be your last chance.
Interesting.
That and like the fish documentaries. You could drive to that.
Which I still have not watched. But. So that's my number one, 2014. Right. Super excited.
Interesting.
What do you got for us, Guillermo?
All right, so my film, and I'm pretty sure no one's going to pick this, Tusk.
Yeah. No one's going to do that.
Exactly. So why am I excited?
Yes.
Tusk. Kevin Smith come back to directing movies that aren't the typical Kevin Smith movies.
What about Red State?
Red State was, I guess, his original idea, but this is I think this is outside of a Kevin Smith movie as it can be. I mean, it's going to be somewhat of a... The reason I guess I'm so excited about it, I follow this idea from conception into podcast world. I listen to this podcast series, and for following this thing from whenever they talked about it originally, when it was just a joke, and seeing how Kevin Smith and then Scott Mosier started just bouncing ideas of each other, and this thing, before you knew it, like 2 weeks later, he's like, I'm back into film. I want to make this movie. I'm going after a budget. It's going to be low anything, and now he's got a full idea. Plus, one of the characters who was supposed to be a big part of this movie was originally written for Quentin Tarantino as part of paying his homage for introducing Kevin Smith to Ray Parks. But
Michael
Parks, I'm sorry, Ray Parks. Darth Maul, duh.
The Toad.
That's right. So, part of that being, when Tarantino was approached about this, he, I guess respectfully declined the opportunity, saying that, with the reason that he was out of film and acting for a while. So with that came rumors, I think like 2 weeks ago, about a possible new casting for one of these roles that was written for Tarantino, and it looks like Johnny Depp is going to be the guy now. So this is going to be a Kevin Smith movie with Johnny Depp in it.
Does it mean anything?
To me, that's
it could be
exciting.
bad.
So, backing up a second, for people who don't know, not me, but one of my friends, what is Tusk? Like, I have no idea what we're talking about. I don't even know what the premise of this is.
Okay, so Tusk, the whole thing started, in the weekly podcast that Kevin Smith does with his typical producer. They brought an article from a website. I think it was, I can't remember the website, but Gumtree. I'm looking at it now. So apparently it's like a Craigslist kind of website. And in this website, they posted there was one article of interest, which was about a guy who had traveled the world and seen many things, including at some point being lost at sea, where his best friend during that time was a walrus named what was the name of the walrus? Whichever the name of the walrus was.
Paul.
But no, it wasn't.
Paul is the walrus.
No, it wasn't. But so he Reggie or whatever the walrus' name. So as part of that, then he says that now he's at the late stage of his life, and he's got a big house with a lot of rooms, and he's looking for somebody to come in and live. He was looking for a room. He's gonna have no rent for the guy, so it's gonna be free rent. But the only caveat or condition is, for 1 hour every day, he must wear a walrus costume, and during that time, he can only act like a walrus, and even at some points, being fed fish. So that's the premise and how this movie came about. Later on, after the podcast aired and everything, it was debunked as an actual hoax. And the guy who actually put the article in this Craigslist, he's one of the producers of this movie. So again, that story, and then the way Kevin Smith and his partner took it a little bit step further is that, he's saying, well, this could make a perfect horror film. What if the guy, goes into this costume and all of a sudden starts being kind of sewn permanently into this costume and being turned into a walrus. With Michael Parks as the older guy who owns the house, I just see this thing going everywhere. I'm not a big horror, gore / films, kind of fanatic. That's not my type of movie, but for the first time ever, I'm excited about a scary movie just because of the people who are tied to it. Mm-hmm. So definitely excited about that one. Movie got made in like 2 weeks. So definitely exciting because, this guy just manages to pull it off, making something unconventional. I mean, that's why I think what Kevin Smith brings to the table is just unconventional filmmaking, which I'm excited to see this time around. So that's doesn't have a release date. We just know it's sometime in the third quarter, so after the summer. Hopefully we'll see this thing. I'm thinking early September, October release, maybe. It'll go against Interstellar. Maybe.
When does Interstellar come out?
November. So that will be the last quarter. So.
That's Oscar season.
Yeah, it's got the Skyfall spot.
Cool.
Anyone who's seen Red State should be excited for Tusk. Just to see Michael Parks act like a crazy old man.
Oh, yeah.
He was the best thing about Red State. Should have won an Oscar. He was amazing. And
that's why I think Kevin Smith said, I wrote this part again so he gets attention again. This guy deserves an Oscar at some point. And Quentin Tarantino has been, a proponent of him as an actor. And I mean, it shows on Red State. It shows. And the great thing about that is he makes a movie that's very entertaining with, I guess, nobody actor. So this movie being that he's actually got people that are somewhat known. I mean, Justin Long is in this, Johnny Depp now being tied to it, and Haley Joel Osment as a older guy now, the Sixth Sense guy, not coming back into movie world or big movie world. That's pretty exciting as far as it goes.
If you had to rank your excitement for this movie versus Part 3, like the anti-clause and all of that, you're more excited about 2 or for Kevin Smith is also working on anti-clause, like his Part 3.
Oh yeah. So that's going to be his follow-up, which I think it's fantastic. It's going to be kind of what you're saying, being with Grindhouse. That it's going to be a feature just like that. 4 movies put together into one giant movie, and the people who are directing it are all his, the Kevin Smith universe people. I think that's going to be pretty cool. The Krampus, and I actually before this had heard the Krampus. Again, another one story that came out of a podcast episode. So I'm excited about it, just because I followed it from zero, and I can't wait to see it to full completion. So.
Excellent.
Good. I was a huge Kevin Smith fan. Saw all of his work. I even like Jersey Girl.
I love Jersey Girl.
Guillermo, and 3 other people.
That's right.
Kevin Smith doesn't like Jersey Girl. But I don't know. Like I try to watch Red State. I only watched like 15 minutes of it, and
it's
I just kind of outgrew Kevin Smith.
Red State's like 3 movies in one though. Like the first one is the horror kind of creepy one. And then the middle is where Michael Parks is, and you have to get to that. The third one's kind of like an action cop drama almost. And John Goodman's in that, and he's great too.
Yeah, it's a quick movie. I mean, that's one of the things. Like, you go through it quickly. I mean, after you get through the setup, and you're like, oh, I'm interested. Why? This guy's crazy. And then after that setup, I liked it. Not my favorite, not my typical Kevin Smith movie, but I liked it.
Give it a second shot, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. The whole idea behind Tusk just sounds really disturbing. Like, I cannot imagine.
It's going to be crazy. I mean,
part of the reason to be excited.
That's right.
It's just really bizarre. Like, I remember R.L. Stine had the Goosebumps, like, haunted mask, and you had this kid who, like, went around on Halloween and had this mask that ended up being fused to their face. And I remember being so terrified by that as a child. So this just sounds like that 10 times over.
Human Centipede. I mean, this is and they're saying that this is going to be kind of a genre, but the fact that initially it was a horror, straight up horror film, and now it's kind of being marketed as a horror comedy tone to it. So I'm excited about it.
It definitely sounds interesting.
Definitely.
All right.
Oh. So, taking things a whole nother direction, I get excited about animated films and, kids' films. So, I am really looking forward to How to Train Your Dragon the second, because it's going to be amazing. Hiccup is one of my favorite characters with Toothless, and I'm glad they're going to be returning for a second movie.
Cool.
Love the first one. Went to go see it. Aliera wants to see every animated movie.
That's not literally true.
We did skip the nut job.
It's pretty close, but not completely true.
We did see Hoodwink. But How to Train Your Dragon ended up being like a really great movie by all rights. Definitely great cast, funny action movie, and I was excited for this to come out and the teaser trailer, and definitely everything looks great.
If you haven't seen How to Train Your Dragon, you need to watch it because you will be very glad that you did.
I have not seen it.
Well, you need to watch it because it is fantastic.
And
you will understand my love for Toothless.
I have seen it, and I didn't love it, to be honest.
Yeah, but you want to see it in
the animation's beautiful, of course.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't remember much about the movie, to be honest. I forgot a lot.
Don't tell me about the ending.
What I was surprised though, and what I really did like about the movie was how action packed it was, and like a lot of children in the film were scared when the dragon freaks out. So,
I wasn't scared.
I was like, wow, this is intense and this is awesome. So I mean, it pays off in the end, but I think overall, I found it a little bit forgettable.
It's really interesting because this is based on a series of children's books, and it's loosely based on them. I mean, they definitely follow most of the at least the naming and some of the legends and stuff like that. But it's really interesting to see all of these kind of fantastical dragons come to life and kind of the story of these Vikings like training dragons and riding them. It sounds ludicrous when you talk about it, but I feel like it comes together really well, and I think the animation's great.
I did connect to the movie on a personal level though, because Toothless is identical to my cat, and like I swear whoever designed Toothless and did the animation has a cat just like mine. Like is literally a big cat, and I was really happy. And the eyes and just the look in the eyes and everything. It's weird. And I do love dragons also, especially when they don't talk. They don't talk in this one, and that's a plus.
Interesting.
I will see the sequel just because of the dragons.
You should. They're the best part.
I'm really looking forward to Sin City 2, A Dame to Kill For, because if you know me, you guys know that I love Sin City. I loved it since 2005. I watch it maybe once a month. That and The Departed I watch over and over again.
Oh my gosh.
I love Sin City. I have Marv bobbleheads. I have like all the posters of the feature like characters. I really loved Sin City, and it's been in the toilet for
What?
like since 2005, like 9 years. It's been in the toilet with Angelina Jolie being attached. It's supposed to be a
I don't get that
prequel.
expression.
It's been in development hell.
Yeah.
Like they've been talking about this movie for 9 years, and it's just been like swirling the drains.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Is it going to go down or is it going to pop back up?
yeah. I mean, yeah.
Based on that analogy, it should stay down.
I mean, Angelina Jolie was attached. Brittany Murphy died. Like,
Why?
yeah. It's been. It's similar to Drew and how Michael Clark Duncan died. How Drew is nice, like how Drew is in love with Star Wars because it's actually happening. That's my feeling with Sin City, is that it's finally happening. They got the script together. Robert Rodriguez stopped filming Machete. Like, it's nice to have new faces, old faces. I can't wait for that movie.
Do you care that it's a prequel?
No, I don't care. I got a movie. I finally got something out of it. But we'll see how it goes. I mean, Machete kills it and do that well. And that was Robert Rodriguez with a star cast. And this one also, I mean, star-studded.
Yeah, but he did well with the first.
Machete?
No, with the first Sin City.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
Sin City.
that kind of cast.
Yeah.
What I'm interested in about Sin City, other than just seeing the Sin City sequel,
Soundtrack?
is that'll be good too.
Oh, yeah,
of course,
yeah.
that'll be good.
Yeah.
But is that he's filming it with 3D cameras,
Oh.
and I thought like I don't really care too much for 3D, but I thought when rewatching the first one, I was like, this does go with 3D very well. I think it was a good choice.
Was the first one ever
I'm interested to
available
see
in
how it
3D?
turns out. No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
That was pre-Avatar, so I would say no.
Yeah, it wasn't out in theaters in 3D, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, Spy Kids was in 3D, so
Well, yeah,
that was great.
red and blue.
That's right. It still worked. It worked.
If it were an IMAX, though, I'd be more excited.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
All right. My most anticipated movie that has yet to come out is Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Really?
Cutting it close.
Cutting it close.
Interesting.
Spider-Man is one of my favorite characters. I follow this movie. I'm definitely cautiously optimistic. I do have my concerns with how many villains they've tossed into this. And I think we've kind of mentioned that a lot of movies fall under that weight. But, Amazing Spider-Man came out. It was the reboot that everybody's hated. Nobody wanted this. But it ended up being a great movie. And I feel like, it really elevated the action sequences. Andrew's a great Spider-Man, a great Peter Parker. Emma Stone does, I think, a wonderful job being a romantic interest. And, I know she's a little bit old for the role, but, who played the past Mary Jane, blanking. Kirsten Dunst. She was old, or at least looked old throughout all that. But regardless, I think that they're on track. They have a lot of good comic talent helping them out with this. They have the traditional suit instead of the crazy Nike sneaker-looking suit from the first Amazing Spider-Man. So I think that they're going to do a lot of good work with this. Jamie Foxx is a great actor, so seeing him kind of transition through that role. But kind of going back again to my for every up I have it down. His greatest battle begins is the tagline they're using for this. I really hope that walk out and there's a defined beginning, middle, and end to this story. I don't want to see it at the end and be to be continued, or any moment that's oh, better watch Spider-Man 3 or Sinister 6 to get the rest of the story. I'm okay if they tease it, but this needs to have a defined arc for my expectations to be met.
Okay, does it kill it if they kill Gwen Stacy in this movie for you?
No, I mean, everybody's expecting it. She's bringing the exact outfit she did in Amazing Spider-Man 121 when she died. So
the Green Goblin.
When the Green Goblin killed her, they're introducing the Green Goblin in this one. I mean, all the promos does feature Electro pretty prominently, so I think, I don't know, it'd be kind of a twist if, Green Goblin's in it for more than 5-10 minutes, but we'll see what happens.
Someone told me that Spider-Man killed her.
Depends on how you think about it. So she got pushed. Right? She got pushed from a bridge, and he sent his webs out. And so when he grabbed her ankle, the theory is did her neck snap because
the momentum
he stopped her, or because of the fall, and she would have died anyway.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think if you jump from the Brooklyn Bridge, you're gonna die. Yeah. So
and they kind of made
I mean, it's pretty dark.
They kind of touched on that theme and that scene in I guess it was second Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man's when I think it's Green Goblin, right?
It's the first one, yeah.
Yeah, when they got the
bus and Mary Jane,
or Mary Jane, and he's got to decide, all right, which one do I save? Isn't that similar setup that?
You should have let MJ go. She was doing a terrible job. Bad job.
It's funny that you mentioned that they're too old, but I mean James Garfield. 30 years old on this thing. And he doesn't look it. He still looks like a teenager.
He has a baby face.
And Emma Stone is 25, I think it's what I saw in there. But
I don't know. I can't tell.
I think it's good casting. I mean, they're not in high school anymore in this movie, right?
I don't know, to be honest.
No, he's in college. Yeah, like he was graduating.
He's not working for the newspaper yet. Yeah. Or freelance, whatever.
In mentioning MJ, one thing that's kind of good for this movie, they did have an MJ originally cast, and they did cut her. So, I mean, they did recognize that they were juggling a lot of storylines at one point at least, so they maybe, to kind of streamline parts of this.
They did that with the first movie, too. They cut out stuff about his parents, I guess. I don't know if it was because, I don't know if it had anything to do with them thinking they had too much, or they're like, oh, we got a good movie here, let's save this for a sequel. So, who knows? Because I remember they talked about his parents in the trailer, and it was not. I mean, they briefly mentioned him in the film, but there's stuff in the trailer that wasn't in the film, and I was like, "What the heck?"
So, I mean, of course none of us have seen it yet. Is there an X-Men trailer that you guys have heard of? I mean, it looks like there's a scene from X-Men at the end, just strictly X-Men.
It's just a commercial. Everybody's trying to. So, if you don't know, at the end of this movie, airings overseas, they showed X-Men: Days of Future Past. It's kind of like a mid-credit teaser, but it's just a trailer and advertisement for the movie. Yeah. But some people are like, oh my gosh, they're crossing universes, they're crossing properties. I think it's just the studio scratching each other's back or getting a little ad revenue.
What I read was that, was it Mark Webb, he directed Spider-Man?
Yep.
He had a deal with Fox Searchlight after doing 500 Days of Summer, and he had to break the contract in order to do Spider-Man or Spider-Man 2, one of them or both. So Fox made a deal with Sony, and now Sony is advertising X-Men for them, supposedly for free.
I think Webb
for taking Webb.
I mean, how good of a director are you that a studio... To me, this is kind of an embarrassing thing for a studio to just put advertising for another movie attached to your actual
It's going to confuse a lot of people, too, especially when people expect from a comic book movie to have something in the credits nowadays. It's going to confuse a lot of people,
Well, maybe this is the first step towards that collaboration.
Maybe they're testing the waters. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe that's the first step towards that collaboration.
There's commercials before I watch the movie. I don't need commercials after I watch the movie, too.
Well, at least it's all in the Marvel universe, though. At least they're not, throwing in DC and really making it other things.
Yeah. They're called trailers because they were originally after the movie. So,
really?
That's something I've never thought about before.
Way back in the day.
Way to just casually toss a knowledge bomb, Drew.
They came after the film. That's why they were called trailers.
Do you know when they switched?
No.
Sorry,
no
no
idea.
on the spot.
No idea.
Interesting. I guess we'll take that as the next topic, and we'll see what the afterthoughts. I really do like Spider-Man a lot, but low expectations. I think it's just going to be. I mean, more than anything else, this is the beginning of summer season, which a lot of good movies coming out this year with the summer. So
this may be like famous last words, but like I am infinitely more excited about this Spider-Man 2 than I ever was any of the Tobey Maguire movies, and that's saying a lot because Tobey Maguire movies ruined Spider-Man for me, like hands down. So
No.
I'm actually very excited about it.
Not only that, Spider-Man 3 ruined midnight showings for a few years. We saw Spider-Man 3 midnight showing. We had to get there really early, so we got there like 10, grab seats. Horrible movie, horrible experience. Next summer, I think Dark Knight comes out. I was like, we gotta go to the midnight showing. We have to see this movie. We have to see this movie. Nope. Foot put down. We did not see the midnight showing for that.
And it was all Spider-Man 3's fault. It was. That movie should not have happened.
yeah, I'll give you that.
Speaking of Spider-Man 3, Venom himself, Topher Grace, is also in Interstellar.
Clearly does.
I'm gonna go into Amazing Spider-Man 2 the way I went into Thor: Dark World. Like, yes, I liked the first one. Yes, I liked everything, like all the characters. Thor 2 was good. Like, it was a B.
It's okay.
So that's the expectation that I'm going into it. I mean, sequels are hit or miss a lot.
That's very true.
Hmm.
I mean, you can figure out the best and worst sequels of all time by listening to episode 1 if this is your first time joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what have you guys been watching or gaming this past week that you think people might be interested in?
I'll start it. I guess as far as me, I'm a little behind on all TV shows, and I know most of you guys have seen this series, but just Breaking Bad. I finished season 4.
Oh, wow.
Still yet to finish season 5 or start. I started season
No,
5.
season 4 ending was perfect.
So exactly my point. I mean, my reaction after watching that, I'm like, just end the series now. You had it. You finished. Perfect ending. And to me, it was kind of like, why will they come back and try to outdo this?
They can't end with, or they couldn't end. Well, I guess I shouldn't even say it.
It was a happy ending, but
So-
I just wanted. So you
Yeah,
got
yeah.
a similar reaction.
Yeah.
It great ending to season 4.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Perfect ending.
Every season I thought ended perfectly.
Yeah, but this is the first season that and this is something I haven't seen in a lot of shows that they have a perfect ending and they spoil it or they try to go further. Maybe I don't know if they'll spoil it or if it's better or worse, and I don't want to know. I don't want to know. But then I'm just it was interesting to see that they went ahead and gave it a little bit more.
I was surprised that Gus was over 3 seasons. But yeah, that was...
What?
Shut up.
Spoilers. So
You almost made me think I forgot something.
Yeah. It was interesting. So that was I guess my week of what I'm watching. As far as anything, that's really it. I'm still something I guess I'll throw out there is listen to podcasts related to Kevin Smith. Smodcast is the big studio network I guess behind him, and he's got 2 that I listen to weekly is definitely Smodcast and Hollywood Babylon. Great listens. It's very funny. So
Don't forget the NerdEXP podcast.
and yeah, I don't listen to it yet though. It's trapped in Interstellar website. Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of basketball. Like, I've been watching... This basketball season has been excellent. I mean, the matchup between the Memphis Grizzlies and Oklahoma City Thunder has gone to overtime every single game for the first time in NBA history. I mean, those games have been phenomenal. The number 1 seed in the East, the Indiana Pacers, are like down 2 games, like down 2 games to the Atlanta Hawks, who are an 8 seed. So that's a huge game. I mean, the whole thing with Donald Sterling and the Clippers, like that dynamic, and like last night's Golden State Warriors game was ridiculous. I mean, this NBA season has been excellent. I don't normally watch NBA during the regular season because I don't have a team, but it's been good. And Mad Men. I've been watching Mad Men.
For basketball, it seems that this is just a build-up. I mean, exactly it. You got so many good teams, but then you still have the Miami Heat, who's the team to beat, and they're doing it again. So.
Oh, and for the first time in a long time, the Champions League, the soccer championship amongst all the club soccer in the world is going to feature two Spain teams, which is the first time in a long time. It's Atletico Madrid and then Real Madrid. So that's the first time that Atletico Madrid has ever been in the Champions League. It's going to be played in Lisbon, Portugal. So that's pretty big too.
See.
Two Spain teams in Portugal.
Yeah, two Spain teams playing each other. That's a huge deal.
All right.
Me, I mentioned in the last podcast that I was watching Pacific. I finished it 2 nights ago. That shit made me cry. The ending was great. I definitely have ended up liking it a lot more than Band of Brothers. I thought they did an excellent job. The characters are great. And the whole final episode is out of the war, like them home. So you get an hour of them readjusting to life at home.
Wow.
It was great. I have started at the suggestion of Guillermo to watch Undeclared, and I got about 5 episodes left.
That's
Blowing through that is
it's only what, 17 episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're really short episodes.
Yeah.
I like it. It's pretty good. I never watched Freaks and Geeks, but I can recognize that it's very similar. It's good. It's nice seeing all the people who are big today,
exactly.
so young. And
Exactly.
Gaming. The only game I touched the past week was I finally started playing Legend of Zelda 4 Swords Adventure with my girlfriend's younger brother. So every time I see him, he asks me if I brought my DS, if I want to play Zelda with him. And so I remembered this time, played it with him. Nothing to write home about, really. You just do challenges basically as a team and earn rupees.
Is it connected via cable? Is that the
No,
one you have to
I
connect
think
via cable?
the original release was.
Oh.
Now it's just a Nintendo Wi-Fi connection.
Is it like 4 Swords, like Remix HD Fighter?
No, I don't think they changed anything. It's just like a virtual console download.
It's not a Capcom game.
Yeah. Mega.
For me, I've been playing a lot of Hearthstone, and then besides that, I've been playing Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I have first impressions right up. I was a little harsh on it originally. Great gameplay. Story is garbage, though. You can just toss that aside. But the world opens up, especially when you start to get a ship and just kind of explore, and seamless loading from sailing to jumping on an island and exploring and picking up treasures and hunting and, fighting guys. So, if you've enjoyed any Assassin's Creed game or a Far Cry game, this kind of combines both those elements of exploration and action combat into just kind of one super game.
Plus, this week you were kind of a celebrity, I saw. Right, Chris? I mean, you want to talk a little bit about that, your celebrity status?
So, as part of the My IGN blogs, they nominate somebody from the community once a week to kind of spotlight and be put on the IGN homepage. And this last week I was chosen for some of the work and blogs that I post on NerdEXP.com. I also post on My IGN and kind of interact with the community there. If you're interested in, it's primarily gaming, but there's definitely also movies and comics and kind of anything entertainment. Just a lot of fans talking together and, tossing theories around and just kind of talking about the industry and their thoughts.
And apparently, if you get spotlighted, you also get invited to play Dungeons and Dragons. So you might hear him talking about that next week after his first foray into that whole nother world.
My whole almost 30 years as a geek, and I've never played Dungeons and Dragons. So this will be first in that
I
situation.
think we're all there with you.
Yep.
I tried. Like Sakari and I tried with,
gosh.
but we had a terrible dungeon master,
We did.
so we weren't into it.
Dungeon Master.
That's his name.
Yeah, that's the name.
That's the
Wow.
whole name. Is the
Dungeon
dungeon
Master.
master.
It's Hollywood.
Hollywood was there.
Okay, yeah, he was terrible.
I saw the Community episode of Dungeons and Dragons during season 3, and that makes it seem exciting. So we'll see how it comes together.
That's Community.
The feature film Dungeons and Dragons with Mark.
Oh,
I never saw it. I just know of it.
he
It
dies.
exists.
Aw. I like Marlon. He's good.
Clear?
In terms of what I've been watching this week, saw Game of Thrones. Definitely excited about that. So progressing the story forward, not fast enough though. Like I hate waiting week to week. It's been really hard to do. It actually made me go back and start reading the books again so that I can have some closure on what's going to happen this season.
Why? They
Brush
just
up on
said
that.
the books are gone
Yeah.
this season.
I
Books don't apply anymore.
know, but it still provides a lot of good background, and I don't know. Like they've done such a great job building this cast and building these characters, and I can't wait to see what they do.
So
with
we'll
it.
be covering that probably in 5 years. At the end, when I'll finally catch up to that thing, when everything is available and I can just watch it. And
It's the best way to watch it. Like we watched the first 3 seasons marathon through,
It was so nice.
as opposed to waiting week to week and praying that the site doesn't crash at 9 Eastern on a Sunday.
And it's
So
seriously like the fastest hour of TV that you'll watch. Like everything happens. You're covering so many stories and characters and everything. And I'm just like, no, I
Don't
can't
in
believe
here,
it's
don't
done.
in here, don't in here.
And cutscene. So that's one thing definitely watching and keeping up with. And then also back to my How to Train Your Dragon. I'm watching the Defenders of Berk. So just finished that last night, which is the TV series. If you're not familiar with it, on Cartoon Network, it's been fantastic. And I'm waiting for Disc 2 in May.
it's good. They got most of the voice cast from the movie to do the show. Obviously not Gerald Butler, but everybody else, all the kids and everybody's in there. And
Bear Show?
yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
So the stories, are similar quality. The animation is good for Cartoon Network show.
And I've also been catching up on Bravest Warriors, which none of you probably know about, which is cool. But Cartoon Hangover is the same studio that did Adventure Time, and they have some great properties. Bravest Warriors is one of those. I also get their comics and love Puppy Cat as well, which I'm eagerly waiting on episodes for. So,
All right. Okay. Well, thank you guys for listening. If you want to hear more from us, which you probably do, you can follow me on Twitter at ChrisTasticGuy. That's like Chris and Fantastic squashed together with the word guy in there. We'll put it in the show notes.
How do you spell guy?
G-U-Y.
you can also follow me at Aliera.
And that's about it.
Don't try to follow me. I'm
Well-
watching my back.
Next week.
That's
It's a great sign-off. Next week, we'll be doing a full-blown spoiler cast for Amazing Spider-Man 2, so watch the movie over this weekend and definitely join us. If not, we will go through the headlines and everything else to start us off and then save the spoilers for the end. Well, thank you guys. Hope this helps you with your nerd IQ. Level up, friends.